Miro, thanks so much for joining us today. Let's talk about the coronavirus. It continued to be a big story this week. 10,000 people have been sickened in China so far, 200 people dead. What kind of impact is this virus having on the Asian economy and the global economy?
It's a little too early to tell, but it's going to have a substantial impact. Right now, the WHO has declared it an international emergency. The State Department last night gave a travel advisory for U.S. citizens not to travel to or from China. Countries like Italy have prohibited flights. So what's happened, and we've seen this in the stock market. The stock market closed 450 points down on Monday. Today it just closed over 600 points down. There's a lot of turmoil. There's a lot of confusion. And if you look at the United States, we'll have ripple effects. Our fourth quarter GDP was announced at 2.1%. It's a fairly low growth rate, even though we have a very good labor market and low unemployment. And because a lot of our goods are with China and other parts of the world are in services, if there's this kind of lockdown, our service sector is going to be impacted. That's 85% of the national economy is the service sector. So the United States is going to be is going to watch what's going on. This week, the Fed met and they held interest rates. If the world economy starts to tank, the Fed is going to have to act in the next quarter.
On to the Super Bowl. It is the biggest day for advertisers of the year. What is it going to cost for advertisers to be part of this event?
Much more fun topic. The Super Bowl is I would call it the Academy Awards of the advertising world, because here people are really interested in seeing the ads as part of the game experience. So advertisers are going to spend a lot of money. They're going to spend between $5 and $5.6 million for a 30-second commercial. That's pretty consistent to what it was last year, maybe a little bit more. But the difference this year to last year, the NFL ratings took a beating in last year. And so they didn't sell out the inventory until the very, very last minute, just before the Super Bowl game. This year, this NFL ratings were much higher. They sold out in December. So there's a lot of other companies that want to promote in the Super Bowl, and they're getting into the pregame show. And those spots are now selling for about $3 million. So what's going to happen this year in this year's Super Bowl? Advertisers not only are spending on the ad itself, but they have to spend on the commercial. So that commercial is going to cost, generally on average for Super Bowl spots, $1 million. And if you like the new Hyundai ad for the self-driving car with Chris Evans, John Krasinski, Rachel Dratch, that's going to be in the multiple millions because you're paying endorser fees. And then now, because you want to get people to know your ad is coming, these ads are being released days in advance. There's a social media campaign for it. There's other marketing that builds momentum and gets people to react after they see the ad in the game. So if you want to think about it, an average Super Bowl ad is going to be supported by at least another $5+ million in other marketing spend. That's why only big advertisers go into these games. One last thing is going to be the first year we're going to see political ads. There's going to be an ad from the Trump campaign and an ad from the Bloomberg campaign. My prediction, most people, this is an opportunity to get people together and have a good time. Politics really has no place in this. And usually there's a ranking of ads. This one, I think they're not going to be ranked very high. They're going to be looking to be entertained and want to buy products and services.
Not sure that the politicians care about that. On
Right.
that note, we've got to close it there. Miro Copic of SDSU and Bottom Line Marketing, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Amita.